So I've been on YouTube for a while, and this is the first time in a long time to where I feel as if I'm just getting started. So I'm going to be explaining from top to bottom, start to finish, on how this YouTube got started in 2011 and what it's going to be looking like now in 2025. If you see me looking down, I'm literally just looking at my notes to make sure I'm getting the timelines correct and to make sure that it's as accurate as it can be. So if you see me doing this and looking back up, I'm just looking at my notes. So bear with me because I want this to be as accurate and straight to the point as possible. So it all started back in 2011 when my friend had introduced me to a game called Fantastic Age, or Fantage for short. This was basically a video, not like a video game, but like a computer game. So think of like Club Penguins, but with hoverboards. So with Fantage, you would basically create your little character, you would give them clothes, give them hair, give them a house. I guess it's more relatable to Sims, really. One day I was on YouTube and I was looking up stuff regarding Fantage, and I stumbled upon this music video called FMV Louder. FMV stood for Fantastic Age Music Video, or Fantage Music Video for short. And I was automatically hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And at the time, I was already interested in animation. I was more so interested in stop motion at the time, to where you would get like 2 objects or whatever, or however many objects you wanted, and you would move them inch by inch, piece by piece, and take pictures of them or record it on your camera. And I was super obsessed with that. But when I found out you can do animation through like these little characters, and you can make their mouths move with the music, you can make their arms move, I was like, oh my gosh, this is super cool. So I got interested in that, and I realized like there was a whole community of kids my age at the time that would do this exact same thing, and there was a little like community based around that. But as you get older, things start dying off. And Fantage was one of those things that died off for me. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting bored of this. So from 2011 to 2013, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Once Fantage wasn't it anymore, I stumbled upon this YouTuber, and her name was I Superwoman I. She now goes by Lily Singh, and I was a part of this fandom called Team Super, and I was so obsessed with her for a very long time. So from 9th grade all the way to my senior year of high school, so what, 4 years is how long I was obsessed with her as a YouTuber. And I got so like obsessed, or so like inspired by her, to where I would make skits, advice videos, and like little music videos, in my own twist, of course. But at the end of the day, those videos were inspired by her. And eventually I ended up meeting her. I ended up getting her book signed, and I ended up making a whole rap video on how that entire tour went with my cousin. And y'all will not see that video. No, that video is staying in the vault. It's too cringy. I already got 3 cringy videos for y'all to watch, so y'all know what I used to post way back in the day. That's all y'all getting. That's all y'all getting from me. But as I kept posting through that time, from like 9th grade all the way up to my senior year, I started to grow in audience. I reached 700 subscribers and I did a giveaway. I reached 1,000 subscribers and I did another giveaway. And I started to see my own success. I was like, man, this is turning out really awesome. Like, I can actually like do this YouTube thing, not for monetization purposes, but just to be able to prove to myself that I could do it. Once I graduated high school and moved into like, my freshman year of college, that's when YouTube kind of started taking a back seat, and it was teetering from posting and not posting. At first, I was trying really, really hard to keep up with my content on YouTube during my freshman year of college, during my sophomore year of college, during my junior year of college, during my senior year of college. But like specifically during my freshman and sophomore year of college, I was really sticking it out, and I was really trying my best to post. But the posting wasn't consistent at all. It was here and there. I would post, disappear, post, disappear, post, disappear. When I was posting during that time, I would post like really silly videos with my friends. I would do challenge videos with my friends. There was one video that I posted that's still up on my channel, that me and my friend made. We made a really silly, ridiculous song, low effort video that ended up getting the most views on my YouTube channel. And I'm like, why is this one the one to get 20.7K views and counting? Why? The most low effort video. But hey, that's how it go, I guess. That's just how it go. That's just how it be sometimes. But eventually the pressure of balancing school and balancing YouTube really ended up getting to me, to where I was failing not one, but two classes, to the point where my advisor was like, yeah, girl, you about to be a 5th year senior. I said, oh, God, 5th year? That's a thing? Boy, that was not a good time for me. So the thing is, I was supposed to graduate in 2021, but failing those two classes pushed me back a year, so I had to get my act together. I buckled down, ended up graduating in 2022, December of 2022. Now, will I do college again? Probably not. Probably not. College was one of the hardest times for me mentally. Like, college was awful. Like, college was the time where I was taking the most breaks. I would take every other semester off because I was so overwhelmed, because I couldn't really keep up, because I was falling behind so much. And then I fumbled upon like some content on TikTok at the time that was talking about ADHD. And I was like, this is getting a little too relatable. This sounds a little too much like me right now. What's that about? So in November of 2022, before I ended up graduating, in December of 2022, I got a diagnosis and I got my results back, and I got ADHD and autism.
She got the autism. She got the ADHD.
So once I got that diagnosis, that's when things really started to click. That's when things was like, oh, so that's why this is this way for me. That's why I feel as if my thoughts just keep going on and on and on and on and on, and they just don't stop. It makes so much sense. Me struggling a lot during college, me feeling burnt out a lot during college, me needing to take a lot of breaks during the semester, I felt as if something was absolutely wrong with me, because I felt as if I couldn't keep up like I used to when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, when I was in elementary school. Like, I felt like I couldn't keep up anymore. I felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like, what happened? I used to be reading books all the time. I used to be turning in work. I used to be, but when it came to college, it was like I was struggling hardcore. It felt like I couldn't really do school. And I didn't know that it was because of ADHD and autism. But now that I do know that, I've been actively finding ways to cope with my ADHD and my autism, and to work more with my brain instead of against it. It's still a work in progress. It's still a little here and there, but I'll get it, eventually. I got all my life to figure out this thing. So after I graduated from college, that's when I felt like I could actually start living. So from 2022 to 2023, I started joining local organizations. I found out about a music scene that I didn't know existed. I made a page to support local artists in my hometown, support local businesses in my hometown, support local musicians in my hometown. It's called YSP, Your Support Plug. And it turned out to be like a huge success until I lost a lot of footage that I worked on. Like, I did like 30 plus interviews, and all that footage got deleted because I dropped my hard drive and it broke, and I couldn't recover any of the footage. So I had to start over, and I'm still actively starting over. And also during that time between 2022 and 2023, I ended up making my short film. called The Black Card, and I did a whole premiere for it. It was really successful. It was a really good event that a lot of people had enjoyed, and I'm super duper grateful that it turned out to be a success, and I'm so grateful that everybody enjoyed themselves. That's all I care about. As long as everybody enjoyed themselves, I'm a happy camper. And still, between that time of 2022, 2023, I worked some really awful jobs that I did not really care for. One job that I did like, but once you gotta grow out of like the restaurant job. So I grew out of that. And then during like the end of 2024, I ended up getting a job that is in my field of like, media production. Shout out to Ryan Simmons for doing my freaking resume, dude. Like, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. Because without that little resume tweak, I would probably still be looking for media production jobs to this day. So shout out to you if you ever watch this video. So between that time, 2022, 2023, 2024, everything was really like looking up. Of course, I would have my ups and downs because, that's part of life. But then drama ensued. And I this is when I completely stopped making videos. I stopped. Like 5 years has passed by this point. I done stopped making videos. I tried to do a little bit here and there, but it just wasn't working. I didn't really have the motivation to continue. So I was just like, you know what? Whatever. But then drama ensued, which I'll probably make a video about it way, 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 way down the line. But I'm going to just say that drama was the catalyst of me restarting my YouTube channel and focusing on myself and focusing on my authenticity. So here I am. So getting back into YouTube has kind of been a struggle, but like, here's the thing. I have been in the spotlight and then I would take myself out of the spotlight. I'd be in the spotlight, then I take myself out. I'd be in the spotlight again, but then I take myself out. I'd be in the spotlight again and I do what? Take myself out. Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't be consistent in a lot of things. And of course, ADHD, trying to be consistent, and then also wanting routine, but like fighting against routine. That's that ADHD, autism, two things fighting each other. And I also had a really, 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 really deep fear of being seen. I'm still battling with that to this day. And I don't mean being seen like visibly. Yes, being perceived is like a scary thing, but I mean like also being seen for like who I truly am as a person beyond the neurodivergent mask that I would find myself wearing often. And I would find myself spending years masking, spending years being super duper animated, super duper outgoing just to be palatable to people, just to make other people comfortable. Because in the past, I was told that, you're kind of aloof. You need to be more outgoing. You need to be more this. You need to be more that. And I was like, maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to be more palatable. Maybe I do need to make more people like comfortable, because this here is my default. Me just talking to the camera, how I'm talking to the camera is literally my default. Oh my gosh, hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. That I can't do that no more. I did it in the past and I'm not bringing it back. It's so exhausting. And I would find myself doing that with interactions with people too, that I would meet. Like I would be like, oh my gosh, it's so good to meet you. Oh my, and I would find myself just being super duper animated when I just didn't want to be that. But I kept that persona up because I didn't want anybody thinking that, oh, I didn't like them, or oh, something was wrong with me, and So I kept doing that for so long to the point where I didn't even know myself no more. So yeah, that filter, that mask got old quick, but not quick enough. So now in 2025, I've decided to use this YouTube channel as a safe space to express myself in the way that I see fit, talking to the camera like this, and being animated if I want to be, not forcing myself to be animated, because I can be loud and I can also be chill, but I want to be loud when the time is right. I feel like there's a time and place to be loud, to be animated, to be excited, to have a good time, to be the good time, But there's also a time and place where I can be relaxed and I can be chill like this and actually like just be, just exist without having to be so extra all the time, you know? So I am coming back to YouTube as me, myself, and I, the girl who is sometimes chill, sometimes loud, has a lot on her mind, and has a lot to say, but doesn't really say it because of the fear of being judged. For the longest time, I would fall into people pleasing tendencies, and those people pleasing tendencies did more harm than they did good. Like, I would people please to the point where, again, I didn't know myself, to the point where I would lose friends because I was being like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna call it for what it is, being like wishy-washy and not knowing which way to go because I was trying to please other people. But then I was also conflicted because I wanted to go a different direction and not please people all the time. Like, I wanted to do me, but then I would fall into the default of being a people pleaser and making sure that, oh, like, I want this person to like me, I want this person to feel comfortable like around me, and again, trying to be palatable, trying to play small basically. And I ended up losing people because I wasn't being my most authentic self, and I refused to be in that headspace again. I'm not finna do that again. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm finna say what I gotta say and keep it pushing. And I think that this YouTube channel will definitely help me be able to speak my mind more often and to be more comfortable with my voice and to be comfortable with how I show up. I realized that the more that I played small, the more that I didn't show up confidently. I would be extremely insecure in spaces. Like, no matter what the space is, I would be extremely insecure in the space. I would feel as if I wasn't welcome in any space that I was in. I felt the need to ask anybody and everybody, like, oh my gosh, what do you like about me? Or like, how do you feel about me? Or what's something that you think I'm doing really well? Like, I would literally ask for external validation all the time because I didn't feel confident in how I was showing up. Yes, I would do things that were, I guess, extravagant or whatever. But at the end of the day, to my core and how I felt about myself, it wasn't confident at all. I was always looking for external validation in some way, shape, or form. And it really affected my creativity. It really affected my ability to show up in a way that didn't look like incompetence. Because the more insecure that I felt, the more incompetent I would feel. And because I felt so insecure and because of my insecurities, I also felt incompetent. That would also show up in the things that I would do. I love film. I know so much about film, but every time that I would get in a room where a camera was involved, where lighting was involved, all that stuff, boom, disappears out my brain. I felt like, oh, I'm not smart enough for this. I don't know how, I felt as if I didn't know how to hold a camera anymore. I felt as if I didn't know how to use lighting. I felt like I didn't know how to do any of that because I didn't feel confident in myself. I mean, like, not knowing anything about like lighting or like film, like the things that I had known prior to somebody like teaching me something new, that would go like out of my head. Like, the basics that I already knew would just disappear. Like, my brain would go blank. And it's if I knew nothing about film at all when it came to showing up and actually showing what I already know. And I'm not really talking about, oh, learning new stuff, because like clearly I know a lot about film, but I don't know every single thing about film. So I just want to make that part clear. And I'm pretty sure like people who have been around me or who have met me, I'm pretty sure they would probably look at my like how I was in the past or whatever and be like, "Oh, she doesn't really know what she's doing." And it's just like I didn't believe that I knew what I was doing, even though I had all of this knowledge and all of this research, and I've made so many like films and creative projects in the past. I had a full fat portfolio of all the things that I did, but still at the end of the day, I did not believe in myself, and that showed up in every single room that I was in. Whoa, I'm about to tear up because that is so sad. That is so sad. That is so sad. I played small for so long that I literally showed up as small no matter where I went, no matter what room I walked in. I would feel anxious. I would feel like I didn't belong. I would feel as if nobody cared about me, nobody liked me, none of that. And that is awful. That's one of the worst feelings that I have ever felt, ever. And that's something that I don't want to experience anymore. I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of looking for external validation. I'm tired of asking people, "Oh, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Should I do this? Should I do that?" Who cares, bro? Who cares? Who cares? And I know since I haven't posted in 5+ years, I know that my views aren't going to be the same. I know that my analytics aren't going to be the same. I know that my audience isn't going to be the same. And that essentially I'm starting from scratch. Well, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting from experience. Shout out to whatever quote that exists out there in the ether on the interwebs. I know it's a quote. I don't know who said it, who did it, but shout out to them. I'm not here for the numbers like whoop-de-woo. Sure, that'll come, whatever, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm literally here for self-expression. I'm literally here to express myself in the most authentic way that I see fit. And if that inspires one person, cool. If that inspires nobody and the only person I'm inspiring is myself, then so be it. I mean, that's why I made this channel in the first place, to express, to talk, to say something, to not be silent anymore, So at the end of the day, if I'm the only person that watches my videos and I'm the only person that gets inspired by it, then that's enough for me, man. That's enough for me. So if you're watching this and you've ever felt as if you played small in your life, you were looking for external validation, that you felt as if your voice didn't matter, you stayed silent for so long, I'm here to tell you that your voice matters. What you think matters, what you gotta say matters, your dreams matter, and you matter. And if you've been thinking about starting something, whether that's an art project, a YouTube channel, going back to school, starting that music career, buying a house, something, whatever you thought about doing, do it. Do it. No matter who is watching, do it. Even if it scares the crap out of you, do it. Because this right here scares the crap out of me. And I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So do it. Do it. Put yourself first. This is the way that I'm putting myself first, by making whatever I want. So I say all that to say, here's to overcoming the fear of being seen. And I hope that me sharing my story and how I started this channel from top to bottom, from start to not even finish, but from start to now, from 2011 to 2025, I hope it inspired you in some way, shape, or form to get started in whatever project you've been procrastinating on, to get started on something that scares you. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you've gotten something from it. Go ahead and subscribe if you like more honest conversations like this. And let me know in the comments, what is one thing that you are doing in order to face your fears in 2025? Let me know. Let's have a conversation, and I will see you in the next video.